Hi everybody, I'm Catherine Elizabeth from CatBeth Art. Welcome to my art channel. This is where my creativity flows, and I'm so happy to have you along with my journey. In today's episode, I'm going to be continuing on with that glorious color palette that I've included with the seaweed color. I'm actually growing very fond of that color. In this episode, what I wanted to do was to try to generate some more cells. I mentioned before in other episodes that I can take cells or I can leave them in terms of the quantity of cells on my canvas. Today, I'm going to actually try to make more cells than I usually do, and I'll take you back to basics for that in terms of the cell activator. So let's take you down to the studio and see what happened. And here I have my Pillow Paint PPG Multi-Pro onto a brand new canvas, size 12 by 16, and I begin my layering. There's my luscious lemon sorbet. And my seaweed is quickly becoming one of my new favorites now. This time I decided to use both white and black cell activators. Both are Amsterdam paints with Australian Floetrol. And here I am going back to basics by placing the cell activators squarely in the center, one on top of another. Giving it a little torch, and I have to be quick when I do this because it is house paint, and house paint can scald and leave a skin on top, and so yeah, you want to be very careful if you decide to do this. I try not to do it whenever possible, but if I see a whole lot of bubbles, I will do it, just because in the final product the bubbles can leave blank white spots, which are not attractive and pretty difficult to repair. After each blowout, I waited a little bit to let the paint recenter. That gives the cell activator something to blow over. And when I am blowing, I'm trying to be careful that I just skim the pillow paint with the colored paint. Again, here I am waiting in between my blows to allow the paint time to center. giving it a spin. Using the torch again to pop some of those bubbles. Again, I'm being very careful with that torch. Giving it more of a spin. And here I am popping some bubbles using my skewer. For some reason, a lot of bubbles are coming up with this one. Another spin. And that's it. I think it's lovely. Stay tuned for the dried result and a debrief. Well, here's the dried result. Isn't she lovely? I decided to frame this one. It really complements the color scheme, I think. I did get a lot of cells right here and right here, and I love them. I love the shades of green and blue that appear in these cells. Really, really pretty. And right here, the cells are white or off-white, and here, they're just a tint of green. I love the seaweed, how the color of that emerged up here. It almost looks like a shade of copper, I think. I think this is the proper orientation. However, when I looked at it like this, I thought that was pretty good too. But this is my favorite. I'm really loving it. Thanks so much for joining me today in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I know I learned something. Going back to basics isn't a bad thing. It can be a good thing. Just need to be careful about it in terms of the layering of the cell activator over top of the pigment paint. And also when you go into blowing, the idea is to skim it over top of the pillow paint so that it spreads further. And you also want to skim the cell activator over top of those pigment paints so that the cells can pop through. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens next time. Until then, bye.